What? Fans wanna know what's the hold up. They wanna know what's taking so long. No update on Frankie de Jong. My man said he loves Barca, best team in the world, and that's where he belongs. But there's so much debt and unpaid loans, so they told him pack his belongings. Frankie de Jong, stop with the logging. How you gonna say that he don't want Man U when my man's coming team don't want him? That's a low blow, ego rock bottom. What? You don't like me, well I don't like you, so can. What? What? Yo, this is the OT99 Bantering, where opinions are shared and smoke gets served. Look, we're back again with another show. It has been a long-awaited show. Look, guys have been busy. Summer holidays right about now. But we're back again to give our recap on so much that has happened. Look, guys, how you feeling, man? NK, Edwin, I ain't seen you in this space in a long time. What have you been up to, man?
Oh, just been good. Just here, summer hot. Barbers ditching me left and right, but we're good, man. But obviously, we're just waiting for United to do some, what do you call it? Some business. We're just waiting for preseason to start, really, because without football, oh, it just like I don't know. It feel like time goes slow without football on TV, man. You know, so
yeah. Edweezy, what's good, fam? How you been?
I'm all right, man. How are you?
I'm all right, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I've been enjoying the weather. It's a bit humid as usual with our type of sun, but now I'm taking it in. Yesterday, what was it? I was at the. No, was it yesterday? Sorry, Sunday.
Sunday. Yeah.
I was at the United View 100K sort of party celebration thing. So it was good to catch up with some of them because I watched their channel, like from start to end. I was there from when they first started when Flex was announcing it. So it was good to see them guys in person. You know what I mean? And when you see certain guys in real life, like Owen, it was bigger than I thought. Like he was one of the, he's bigger and hencher than I thought in person. But them like, oh, mad cool. That's what I would say about them.
Yeah. They're very cool. Like when you interact with them and stuff like that, even when they're not doing the YouTube off the thing, like Faz and them guys, they're very good to kind of like interact with, to be honest.
Yeah, that's good.
They've got a good team, good family bond. People turn out for them as well. So it just goes to show that. Do you know what I mean? Like they're doing something differently. He left the United stand Flex to go to do his own thing, and he's doing his own thing and it's popping. So I respect it, and his team's solid. So yeah, we had a good time, man. Networked and stuff like that. So hopefully, let's see what happens in the future, man. Watch this space. But guys, look, we're back again to talk about the transfer madness, what's going on here, or lack of transfer activity. That's
I was about to say there's nothing going on, right? It's just he say she say at the moment.
Bro, it's all he say, she say. I think we've been linked with, I don't even want to count, but I think we've been linked with probably like 50 different people, like in the space of a few weeks. It's just crazy. But like for us, man, I think like we obviously know our real established people that there's concrete, links with, first being De Jong. So I wanted to talk about De Jong. I want to talk about De Jong on our midfield situation. I want to talk about Anthony. I want to talk about the striker situation, Eriksen. I want to talk about a defensive situation. So let's talk about Timber, Martinez, and even the fullback. So the latest name that we've been linked to is a guy called Rome or something along those lines, if I'm pronouncing it right. So we'll talk about him as well. And we'll just talk about it in general and chop it up, man, and see where the convo takes us. So let's get into it, guys. With De Jong. Obviously, this is a guy, that Manchester United is Erik ten Hag's main signing. My question is this: why isn't he through the door yet? NK, why isn't Frankie de Jong through the door yet?
Well, it's a lot of factor, really. I think at the beginning of when he got linked to us, it was a question of whether he even wanted to come and join us to begin with anyways, because let's face it, United right now, we are, the club as a whole, we are in a place where we're not the most attractive club in the world. Even next season, we're not even playing, Champions League, where even some of our own best players, we were even thinking whether they're going to leave or not, which is like, Ronaldo. So, and Frankie de Jong too is in a club where he actually enjoyed there. He enjoyed the city. He said it countless times. That's his dream club. But the problem is obviously Barcelona got the whole finance problem, and this is why the players even being made available to begin with too. So in the beginning, I think the manager, first of all, needed to sell his projects to him, and which I don't even think it would have been enough per se if Barcelona didn't have the financial problem. So even after he sold that transfer too, then it was a bit about working a deal with Barcelona. Now, because Barcelona had that financial problem, I feel like it's a case where they're trying to get as much money as they can for this deal. And United to go a new structure with John Mehta kind of a leading negotiation now too. And in the past too, we have been a club where people take advantage of us, you know. Clubs know that with United, if you play the long game with them, you are more or likely going to end up getting your fee that you want. You know, the perfect example was Harry Maguire. That summer, we knew we needed a centre back. Everybody knew we needed a centre back. Leicester hold and hold. They didn't bluff. They hold and hold. And then what happened? In the end, we actually paid a record transfer deal. So I feel like Barcelona is just trying to do the same too with United. And United are thinking like, look, this is a player you want to sell. You go a financial fair anyway. So I think both clubs are kind of like playing a poker. Yeah. Now, my understanding is from like Twitter Interactive and some of the like news articles that I've kind of read. I think the fee itself have been agreed with, which is the 85 million euros. It's more to do with the structure, how the payment is to be done. From what I'm reading, it looks like the more money Barcelona get up front, the better it is for them in terms of like their wage cap for next season. So they're trying to get almost, if not all the transfer up front, majority as big up front. And United are thinking like, no, we don't want to give you that whole 85 million euros up front. We want to do it where we put a certain amount down and then the rest going to be on us, on which is what a lot of clubs do. So I think that is where the club are doing it. United in their, like, to be, if you look at them, they feel like, look, we go up to pre-season in order to confirm this deal as long as this player is on a deal. I think the players that play in the Nation League, they don't have to report back onto the 10th. So it's a thing where they can hold on all the way to the 10th before they kind of like put a trigger on the deal. It's just a question of whether the fans are going to be okay or not. So that's all it is, to be honest.
Boy, I ain't going to lie. From what I've been hearing, how I'm feeling personally, I ain't going to lie, I'm feeling a bit anxious. I'm hearing on the Twitter spaces as well, people are anxious. Certain people are real calm, like unusually calm. And it's a bit like confusing in that sense, considering the amount of work that I feel that we need to do going into this season, do you know what I mean? And the amount of players I thought we initially wanted, but now it feels like the fan base will be happy with just a select, whatever we can get in terms, maybe free signings. But Edwin, what's your thoughts on this story then? How are you feeling like with regards to how we're conducting our summer transfer window on our business? Are you feeling like it's right that, we've been taken advantage of before, we're under a new regime and we need to try and do things properly? Or are you just like, you know what, De Jong's our main signing, look, why are we dilly-dallying? Like, we need to get him in for pre-season and just, keep it moving. What's your thoughts on it?
I think it goes like many ways. I feel like if another team went for De Jong, they wouldn't have this stress or this amount, right? I feel like they know they can get the most out of him out of Man United. But
another team like what?
Really
like what team, for example? Like what team?
I don't know. If Chelsea went for him, Man City, I think they would have got him by now, and they wouldn't have paid like the 85 million, right? I thought they would have accepted that 70 million that Man United initially offered. But at the same time, if Man United want him, just buy him. Like, what's the difference right now? 15 million, right? And I think what NK said is just the installments. If you're going to pay 65 or 70 up front, just put the rest in installments, 15 million in installments, you know what I mean? Because if you want him and you've wasted your time identifying him as the only one and there's all these ongoing talks, just get him. Because if now we just end up getting him and pay him more, what was all that time waiting for? It's different now if we waited and it was the 60 million and 10, but let's be honest, they're going to pay a bit more if they're going to get him. And it's like, why wait? Why all these discussions for what? And then at the same time, learning from the whole Mbappe thing, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Like, you're all relied on this one season. If it doesn't materialize, we're missing out. Like, Arsenal have made 3 signings. Like, Chelsea are going to start signing people as soon as, the Lukaku thing gets out of the way. You got Man City making signings. You know what I mean? Everyone's active and we're just like discussions with this one, discussions with that one. So I think personally, if we want him, and that's what Ten Hag needs for his team, just buy him.
Also, Edwin, the thing about the money too is that, for example, if you spend 80 on Frankie de Jong and you say like, oh, if it's 10 million difference of pay or something like that then affect the next transfer deal. Let's just say United go like 150 million budget or even 200. The more you spend on one player, the less you have to spend on the other signings too.
Well, think about the 4 signings we can make, right? That we could have made, right? Say if we spend the 80 million, right, on De Jong, right? That's 80 million. They say 40 million for Anthony, right? So that makes it 120.
That's what's going, yeah.
120 million. You get Ericsson on free, right?
Yeah.
So you still got about 30 million. Then if they were smart, that 30 million could have been for Timber. That 30 million that was left.
But then the question is, if you go and this is what the Harry Maguire situation, this is what has created, because let's face it, no club, even Lukaku, when Inter bought him from us, they didn't give us all the cash upfront. Every single club, what they do is they give you some upfront and then the remaining on us or installment or whatever. That's the case. Now, if you go and then you say, oh, you know what, I'm going to give you all the money. What is to say that the next club that you're going to go get a player for too is not going to do the same thing with you? I think
but that's
it's
what I'm
about,
saying.
Yeah.
I feel like the 60 million, even if they up that, even like 65 to 70, they could put the remaining. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, they're short of it by 50 million. They could add that 50 million to the installments. You know what I mean?
But here is the thing too. If you got a player that you don't need, which is Barcelona don't need Frankie de Jong right now. It's not like he's in demand. One, they don't need him. They want him out to get rid of their wage bill. Number 2, there is not a bidding war. So there's not like there's other clubs after him where it can kind of like determine his price up. You get what I'm trying to say? So in a way, you kind of like play that kind of a poker with them and see who blinks first. If you go and just say, oh, you know what, because I want to sign my player because my fans are frustrated, then you just literally sending the bad message to everybody that you sit on the table with to do a deal with.
And that's what I said to Firma as well. That's why you need to start buying other players in the meantime. So Ericsson, if they got Ericsson, yeah, and they just got him on a free, it's like, okay, we want De Jong, but we've got a centre midfielder. You know what I mean? And it shows our intention that we are actually planning past De Jong, because now it's like we're waiting for De Jong to be the first signing before we open the floodgates. But if they started signing players, it kind of shows Barcelona, shit, we could lose out on this money. No, like you said, there's no bidding for a war for him. Then they might be more reckless. But Barcelona know they've got the power right now, because Man United ain't buying no one until that De Jong thing goes through.
So from some of the discussions with the fans, they seem to think like the purchase of De Jong or the lack or the not purchase of De Jong will affect other transfer activity in terms of who the harmony, the chemistry between the style of play. So I think they're saying, if you get De Jong, you can get X, Y, and player. You can get A, you can get B, you can get C. But if you don't get him, it's going to affect the type of play. So if you wanted to get someone to play alongside De Jong, it's going to be different now. So now you don't even know.
So, but then what happens if we don't get De Jong? Because the whole Mbappe thing, where you've wasted so much time, and then it's like, what do you do now?
And this is the question. That's the question. Are we doing a Klopp thing where we're saying, do you know what? Like, we're gonna wait for our Van Dijk of a midfield. Or are we saying, do you know what? We just need to move on to get our plan B because this is long enough.
Timber's a great example. We waited and pended. If we had bidded and got Timber from the beginning, all this issue of Van Gaal supposedly jumping in and him being worried about wouldn't have come to fruition, because he would have been there already. Because I heard the agent talks were positive, but we just kept it too long for Van Gaal to get involved. If it was done from early, we would have just got him, because he wasn't even expensive buy from early. They were talking about like 25, 30 million.
That's what they say. That's the word on the street, but that's not the case anyways, though. That's just not the case.
But why can't we do multiple deals? That's a valid question, because like I asked this question in the space as well. If you've got a certain budget for De Jong, whether it's staggered or not, or whether it's all up front, the rest of the money is 70 million, 80 million, and you're saying this is the back, because we have to know and have to have a maximum that we're willing to pay for any given player, right? De Jong can't have we can do the negotiation, but Man United clearly know that there's going to be a limit where they're never going to go to. And we need to be like, okay, let's put this much away on the side for that negotiation as well.
There's about 70 million left. They should just could just play around with.
And then you can use the others to sort out the other guys, because if you really want this player, you're gonna make it happen. Do you know what I mean? You're gonna get the money from somewhere. Like if it goes up about 5 or 10 million, but you should know how much you're willing to spend.
But again, what do you think though, NK, about the multiple trying to work on multiple deals at the same time?
Yeah,
or do you think just focus on one?
Let's look at the players that we're trying to link to, and I'm gonna use the Ericsson, the Timber, and the Anthony players. First of all, Ericsson and Timber were involved in the Nation League. You know what I'm trying to say? Ericsson got multiple offers too. It's not just United too. So he just said, hey, you know what? Yes, I got my offer on the table. I just finished the Nation League. I'm going to go on a holiday. And then after I come back, I'll make a decision. You cannot force a player to make a decision. That one, you said, okay, cool. You've already just done that too. Timber too.
But the thing is what Edwin is saying is, would these even be situations or scenarios if other teams were doing the business out there? Because it always seems like we're hit with this kind of...
Okay, prime example.
Of these issues.
People like Haaland and that, I guarantee you, I don't know the statistics, but I guarantee you there's players that have been signed that were away in the international thing.
Yeah, but again, Haaland...
So what's the difference? You know what I mean? Like, they were away, they wanted to come to the team, and there was progression. Look, we knew Ericsson, we knew if we were interested in it, we knew his contract's running at the end of the month. We should have been working on him.
Edwin, is this reflecting that we're not a big club? Is this reflecting that we're a small club?
Not that. Look,
no, it's just that people know they can take the mic.
No, let's take the back seat here. First of all, other clubs had their managers and planning for their, their transfer target already. We did not start planning for our transfer target until the end of the season when the manager finished.
Okay, when was the end of the season?
I think when they, I think to be
our
according to the reports,
targets got all thrown away, and Eric Ten Hag said, "I don't want."
So everything. Look, the whole. Okay,
but when did Ten Hag become manager? May, right?
No,
that's 2 months.
Listen. Yeah, but then even when he became manager, he was still concentrated on Ajax. It was only when the season finished there, that's when he came.
Which was in May.
Yeah, May. And in May, they have to then
2 months, yeah. The way they say this guy's a planner, yeah, he would have known what he wanted. Like, but they've been told he knows what he wants from early.
Let me finish.
I think he would have been. There's no way he would have been.
We can't give Man United no more defense right now, because history has shown they pen with anything, no matter what regime.
My thing is, like, we're making up.
Okay, wait, sorry. Let NK finish, because I kept cutting him. So go on.
No. What I'm saying is that after they finish, they need to then sit down and then draw a transfer list of who we want, the A, the B, and the C. And what you need to understand too is, just when Tim Hag put a name forward, the club then too have to then assess this and to make sure whether it's a good fit, So just because he's saying, oh, you know what, I'm going to put, I want Anthony, doesn't mean that they should just go ahead and just sign it too. They then have to just sit down too and analyze and make sure that he's actually going to be a good fit for us, like long term too, because in the past, we haven't been doing that, where managers say, hey, I want this guy, I want Matic. They go ahead and buy Matic come and flop, because no one is just there trying to like pick brain with them. Once they done the list, look, Frankie de Jong was always going to be a long transfer deal. Anthony probably is a simple one. They're still working on that. So this thing about, they're not working on those deals. They are working on other deals just because they haven't put a plug in is. And the question is, whether we get them early or we get them late, it's about when you get them, how they perform on the pitch. Last season, Sancho was the first signing that we confirmed in July. Did he play preseason? No, he did not. He did not play preseason. So all these things that we say, you know what, we need to confirm deals. Whether we confirm deals or not, if they come in the flop, what's the point of it? That's why.
No, we know that can happen.
No.
Statistics history shows that you're more like, players, managers, if you ask any manager, they would tell you that they would love to have more time with their players. The sooner you get them in the better. Obviously, we know that players can still flop or not take off, like if you get them, or do well if you get them late or whatever. But you speak to anyone, they'll be like, get me in so I can work with them sooner, you know what I mean? Work with them.
But has the preseason started yet? But how many days have you got left? It's not far.
You know what I mean? It's
No,
under 2
the 20,
weeks.
the 27, the 27 is for the guys who didn't go to what they call it, the Nation League, and then I think the rest of them are going to come around maybe the 5th of July or so. So in a way, between now and the 5th, that's another 15 days. 15 days, bro. 15 days, bro. 15
Edwin,
days.
what's your response to that, Edwin, man?
I don't want to hear nothing about Man United. Like, do you know what? They just penned. Like, at the end of the day, the season finished on the 22nd of May. That was our last game against Crystal Palace, right? When we lost. Who was in the stands?
The manager.
Ten Hag.
So he was working.
Well, yeah,
He's been think about it, whether you say he has finished his Ajax game. His Ajax game finished a week or two before. So he
was speaking to Timber before he was sitting on those stands. You get me? He was speaking to Timber saying, "Oh, I want you to come to Man United." That guy was working, and he's not just going to be like only focused on Timber. He's going to be sitting down like any other person that knows that they're going into the biggest job of their life are going to be sitting there, especially soon after that final, thinking he would be good for Man United. And listening to Steve McLaren's interview and anyone that's worked with him, they say he's meticulous and a serial planner. So it doesn't strike me that he'll just be like, oh, like, okay, let's start from scratch and let me see who I want or who would fit. Yeah, we scrapped the scrapbook of our scouts and all of the people that they scouted, but I thoroughly believe that this guy had an idea of who he thought he would want to bring to Manchester United. And what's probably letting him down is the fact that, one, he wants to probably bring in De Jong as his first signing, or two, Murta or what do you call it, or whoever's Brown or whoever's involved in these negotiations are not doing a thorough enough job in convincing these players that they're going to be the main guys. They're not. His last
game was 15th of May. He just opted not to go on holiday. He opted to start his work on the Man United project from the 15th of May. It's been 2 months. There's no reason why in that 2 months he hasn't.
It's been 1 month, mate.
Oh, sorry. 1 month, right? There's no reason why he already knows his targets. You know what I mean? Especially when he says he wants to be on it. Like, think about Man United in the past, right? They've waited long, and then it takes players long to settle. Sancho was a reason. Like, there's so many players that come a bit later, and then they're like, we've got to give them time. You know what I mean?
Okay, Edwin, can I ask you a question? So, say you got 3 players on your short list. Say, for example, the centre back. Man United go like Timber. I think one of the names too was Pau Torres. And there was another guy too that played in the Portuguese league that was also on the list too.
Yeah.
Or even Martinez too. If you have these 3 players there, without scouting or knowing about them, how would you know who is going to be your plan A, your plan B, and your plan C?
Okay, do you know why that's cap?
Why is that cap?
Ten Hag was Timber's manager the whole season last season, and Anthony. Well, how much scouting does he need? He spent the whole season.
Again.
Okay, forget about scouts here, because sometimes, like, okay, a scout could see, look, scout-wise, right, you can see a player and be like, oh, they're not all that, and they end up being, how many players have been tutored to be the next thing and never been good, and players that we said is all right end up being world-star players, right? Mm-hmm. Think about this, right? Ten Hag, how much scouting do you need when you've played with these? He's played a whole season with these players. More recent, they both start in his team, and they both performed under him. They know his system. What scouts is he going to send to them now for a tournament for less than a couple of weeks when he's had them a whole season? I understand if it's defenders outside of it, but if you want Timber and you want Anthony, you've been their manager.
It's true.
You know how they play. They play to your system.
There's no scouting that you can do, because someone said, I think I was listening to it in Twitter space, that you need, for you to have a full accurate report of a player, you're going to need to have scouted 40, I don't know what the barometer is, but someone said 40, 90-minute games. And there's no way that Erik ten Hag can do any type of scouting on new players that is proper and accurate.
But friends, he missed my question. Yes, Tim Hag won Timber, or apparently to be number 1. We don't know that whether he wants it as the number 1 too. They finished. That's what he knows. He knows that Timber is probably like one of the best out there. But if he doesn't have options, how is he going to know that, this guy is the best? Do you know what I'm trying to say? So, for example, if he say, I recommend Timber because I've worked with him and he does da-da-da, how would you then know that maybe there is someone better out there than Timber?
Let me tell you why, again, right? look at other teams. Mane was touted to go, right, from Liverpool, right? Liverpool said we need another striker. They got their striker. There was no plan B. There was no plan C. They just bidded, got him, and it was within a week they had him signed. Nunes.
Okay.
Right or wrong? Right or wrong? So what options do you need?
That's wrong. That's wrong.
You know, okay, wait. Listen to this. If you know Timber, you want Timber. Buy Timber. If you don't get him, then you look at your possibilities. Like if you know you want a player.
We've been linked with Martinez now, isn't it? We've been linked with Ajax centre back Martinez.
Edwin, do you know how long Liverpool has been scouting Nunes for? A year. Do you know? Also, listen. Liverpool already knew Mane was leaving. That's why they bought Diaz. That's why they bought Diaz in January. They already knew. They've already had 6 months to plan for this stuff. Look, Salah, if Salah says he's leaving now, they're going to be in trouble because they haven't prepared for that. They're going to use the whole of this season to prepare for that. I'm just saying, look.
Okay, to your point, how long do you think Ten Hag is known he's going to be Man United manager?
I said a month is not enough.
No. Forget about when you officially signed. How long do you think he knew he was going to be a manager? I guarantee you he's been at least a couple of months.
Let's just say 2 months. Okay.
So when he decided he was going to be Man United manager, I guarantee you this guy is a thinker. He was like, okay, I need this. He's been watching Man U as much as
when he was in the title fight, when he was in the title race.
No, I reckon he would have had certain team guys like, I don't know, what's the guy's name? Van der Gaag or whoever's.
No, but
if I'm getting the names wrong, but I reckon certain team members would have been doing some work on his behalf as well. I don't think.
I think he would have been known. Like at the back of his head, he knows I'm going to be Man United's manager. Bro. He's watching them and everything. You know what I mean? Look, okay. But at the end of the day, we're just going to see who we sign because I personally don't know if I have faith in them when it comes to transfers.
Guys, look. This is see with me, for example. This is where I am in the transfer. Look, United as a club, from time and time again, we have got our transfer wrong. We have signed players that have come, and then by a year or two, we're trying to replace them. So clearly, something has gone on that have caused these issues. So when you get a new team, first of all, you get a new manager and his whole coaching team. You got a new structure who are going to deal with transfer too, and a whole, let's just say, a recruitment department. They first need to sit down and think about what have we been doing wrong that we have been buying players to come inside that has been causing all these issues. So maybe that take a week, maybe that take 2 weeks for them to just do that whole report to conclusion. I don't know. But me, as I said to you, it don't matter to me whether they come on the 1st of June or if they come at the 31st of August. As long as what we are buying are going to be signings that we are going to benefit from for the next 4 to 5 years when we are in a position to challenge for the league, I am calm. Because I don't want a situation where we go buy a guy, let's just say the manager say, hey, I want Timber. We rush and buy Timber. Timber comes and cannot adapt to the league. And then we just like, oh, because that's what all he wanted. We didn't do no scouting. We didn't recommend any other player because that's what he want. Because when he flopped, that's another 2 years where we are going backwards again and have to replace that. In reality, Man United should have had a right back already, but we don't. Wan-Bissaka is now going to get sold for a new person to come. Our centre back, we should have a centre back right now, but we don't. We're going to just do that all because what? We just rushed or whatever the process was not good enough. So if this is going to be the process where it's going to be long, well, let's just do that because it's about the long term, not the short term.
Clock thing. So look, this obviously with the young topic is gone like crazy because like literally I was expecting to have moved on to many players, but I think we're probably just gonna have to keep it on the young because and the way we're doing certain other business. But for me, my issue is this. It's right that we get in the players that we need before the transfer window, etc. Ideally, before we go on to flipping, like go on to pre-season. But the longer Manchester United take and dilly-dally, the more increases the risk of players. We're just not getting our signings. Like we're already hearing like strong news about Martinez. Do you know what I mean? And Timber potentially not signing now, needing time to think about it, needing to put in a massive offer. Whereas before it almost was like a certainty, it felt like. And now it's drifting away from that and more into, he's thinking about it, we need to make a big offer. And then we're hearing more news about this Martinez centre-back guy. We're looking at guys like, what do you call it? Nunez was never going to happen, so I'll let that slide. And De Jong, like, he literally hasn't got any other options, so it feels like he's cornered that he has to come to us. But it just feels like with these signings that we're linked to, the longer that we dilly-dally, the longer, the easier it is someone can come in and be like, boom, like, let me poach you.
With the Timber deal, I think the journalist that first broke the news that we are linked to him, he's the same journalist that after Timber done the interview during the international, because before he went to go play in the Nation League, the whole word that was on the street was that, United have met his agent and it's almost like a done deal. And then when he came on the interview and then just said that, you know what, Ajax go Champions League too, he can continue to develop at Ajax, or he can also continue to develop somewhere else. The journalist then broke the news to say, you know what, Timber is concerned that if he moves to United, he's going to lose his place in the Dutch national team and he might not go to the World Cup. Personally, I think that's cap. I think that's them trying to find a different angle for the story, because I watched the Nation League, and if you watch how they play, Timber is very, very key on how Van Gaal want to play. And people talk about, Van Gaal hates Man United versus so. Look, at the end of the day, it's about the Dutch national team. He can despise us all he wants, but he also needs to pick the best team for the Dutch national team. So what do you think
the delay is about then with Timber?
I think the delay was literally about, me personally, one, he's an Ajax boy, you know? He's an Ajax boy, and I think Ajax want to give him a new contract, because the contract that he's on now, if they sell him this summer, they have to sell him for cheap. So what they want to do is they want to give him a better contract so that they can sell him for a bigger value next month.
But that's Ajax's intentions. What about Timber's intentions?
That's what I'm just trying to say. Timber, as a player that you grew up in the academy, some part of you feel some type of way, you know? Whereas if an offer comes, you feel like, you know what? This club has been there for me. They gave me an opportunity. So do I then kind of like stay with them for 1 year whilst they go on uncertainty where the manager is leaving? They're going to have a new manager. Other players are kind of like going too. So do I just stay for 1 year and go? A bit like what Van der Beek done. Because remember the season where De Jong left and all those players left, Van der Beek stayed for one season before he got his move to Manchester United. So maybe...
but I don't think that Real Madrid was ready. Like, for me, it's just like, when you're coming in as a Manchester United, I know that we've fallen from grace like quite heavily, but Ajax and Manchester United, they're different planes at the minute. Even though we're not performing well, maybe they'll beat us in a 90-minute football match. I'm just like, Timber. When you're approaching Timber, there was an original excitement from him on his side, and now we're hearing stories of what Van Gaal's saying and all of this stuff like that. Regardless of all of that stuff, there shouldn't be any reason why Timber is having any other thoughts or delaying or anything. He should just be a guy, and that's in the squad. And my thing is this: what are we telling this guy? Because if Man United is not saying that you're going to be the number one guy in the centre back next to Varane or whatever, then I don't even want the guy, because we're just going to waste his career. I don't. No.
But then, friends, again, no one knows what is holding up with the deal. For all we know, and that's the thing about United. For example, Varane, we agreed personal terms with Varane, even before the World Cup started. But the whole summer, we were sitting here debating whether he was coming or not. When United have actually agreed personal terms, it was all about just negotiating a deal with Real Madrid, which didn't even start until after he went on holiday and then came back to the club before the club started to kind of like do that. So we don't, and that's how United do business. So for all we know, Man United have already agreed personal terms with the player already. We don't know that yet. So all that is just left right now is for him to come back from holiday and for us to negotiate with Ajax. Future friend tell us that with the Van der Beek situation, it took 2 weeks and the deal was done. So Timber probably maybe due back from holiday, maybe let's just say next week. It can probably take 1 week. We're already talking to them about Anthony. You don't know whether we are talking with a C about Timber or not. For me, all I'm saying is I'm not biting into the rumors where today one person is saying that, one person is that. I'm just looking at how United normally do business, where they always get the player personal terms agree with. And if he's worried about game time, well, he's worried. But all the manager have to say is, well, when you come, I'm playing you. He can literally lie to him just to get him over if he really wanted that. And our CEO also said, we are not missing out on targets. He clearly said that. So which means they will do whatever it takes to get them. So if Timber won't guarantee first in football, they're going to tell you, bro, we will guarantee you first in football. But again, any player, you always have to tell them, like, look, as long as you come here and you train well, you're going to do that. I just don't see how, if he is our number one target, just like how De Jong is, I don't see how the club don't do everything to get him. I just don't see it.
For me, I just want the deal to be done. I literally just need the deal to be done. So, where did he go? Crashed out. Edwin, whilst he's dealing with his technical difficulties, what's your final words on this situation? We got round it off in like a minute.
I feel like with Man United, we just need to be active, innit? Like, if you don't want to buy no players and work on the team, just say it. But you need to get your squad in place, and I think everyone needs to be on the same plan. I heard he's recalling everyone back early, so he wants them on board. So I just think if you want your players, just buy them. Just buy them. Like that 10 million, it sounds like a lot, but it's not, especially with the players we let go. And so look, you want De Jong, buy him. You want Eriksen, make more of an effort, but yeah, that's it, man. If Timber's not going to come, just move on. Sign another defender. You know what I mean?
Right.
Especially if you never planned for Timber to be your number one. Because he's still young. So I just feel like we've got to be more proactive, get the right team, and that's it. I just feel like with Man United, it's other teams are showing that when they want to play, they can get them. You know, that it shouldn't be a difference with Man United. Maybe the Champions League could be a factor, but that's probably where you have to take ownership and be, look, as a team, we haven't made the Champions League, so we've got to pay a bit more than we usually have to and take that hit.
Facts. Look, guys, you heard it from us, you heard it from NK, you heard it from Edwin. We gave our opinions on the De Jong situation. I wanted to cover more, but the De Jong situation, there's a lot to discuss. So maybe next time we're going to catch up on how it will look, how Manchester United would look with this midfield situation, and we'll break it down and dissect it in terms of Erik ten Hag's plans and tactics. So we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.